In today's session, we will discuss about architectural design. Right, we will work this architectural design in two parts. In part one, we will see what are the important things, what are the important architecture has been implemented for the good design. Right. So we already know the basic information about the architecture. What is the purpose? So architecture will act like a blueprint in the development of the system. So with the help of this blueprint itself, we can know what we are doing, right? So let us see. So the following are the different types of architecture: data centric architecture, data flow architecture, call and return architecture, and layered architecture, right? In this part one session, we'll complete all these things, right? Right, next, here, data centric architecture. So if you observe carefully this diagram, there are many different softwares are interacted with one repository, that is called data store. That means there is a database is there, and that database is act like one repository. That means it will hold all the information, and that information is centralized used by many client softwares, right? This is a one type of architecture. In this type of architecture, data will acts as a centric. So in last session also I gave an example regarding ERP. So in the ERP also, the enterprise resource planning product like Oracle Labs, SAP. So these all will hold the information as a one repository, and those information will be shared by different modules along the product, right? So we can consider that also as a data centric architecture implementations. Next, coming to the data flow architecture. This data flow architecture will concentrate on the movement of the data along the different type of modules, different components. Suppose let us see here in this diagram we are able to see filters and pipes. So let us consider one example. Suppose a patient came to the hospital for an appointment. So at particular reception area, the patient gave his patient ID. At the reception person will interact the application as an input by giving the patient ID. By giving the patient ID itself, the receptionist need to know that he is an old patient. He came to meet so and so doctor. So again, after fixing the appointment, all those things, the same patient will go to the concerned doctor. Then also the concerned doctor also will use the same patient ID. But now here what happened, by using the patient ID, he will see what are the disease and what kind of medicine he has been given. That means what happened at the reception and at the doctor level? A filtering. But the data is moving with the help of pipes. So this type of filters will play a crucial role as per the hierarchy movement. Like if you take an example of a hospitals or some banking sector, in various areas we can use this type of data flow architecture. And coming to the call and return architecture, so here one main program will be there, and that main program will contain lot of subprograms, and each subprograms will have many kind of application programs will be there. That means the main program will act like a controller, and that gives one input, and that particular input will be distributed along the subcontroller to perform the instruction and to execute the instruction and give the result. And coming to the layered architecture, in this layered architecture we can see that it just like many layers are there, just like an onion. If we see and observe onion, it will contain many layers. So here the most important layer is core layer. That means it contains all it acts like an operating system functionality. The core layer will contain all the essential things which, so in this core layer it will hold all the important functionalities, all things which is helpful in starting the system and software. Right, and the utility layer will be useful to provide little different kind of services, all those things. And when coming to the topmost layer, that is user interface layer, that is the layer where the user can interact. So by giving this any kind of input through the user interface layer, that inputs will be handled by the application layer. So inside the application layer, the complete business logic and database things, all these things will be handled by the application layer, right? This is also one of the important layered architecture, right? It will interact with between each and every layer in systematic way, right? So these are the four important concepts we have covered, right? In next session, we will go to the part 2 in more detail, right? And thanks for watching.